The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, with sexually transmitted diseases and infections on the rise in the Bahamas, including HIV and AIDS, authorities took very seriously the unlawful sexual relations between a bus driver and a teenager. Tonight, Minister of Health, Dr. Michael Darville, is again sounding the alarm over the too casual sexual exchanges, especially among young people. We talk about it tonight. Also tonight, is Coco Key hiring Bahamian women to tote sand to the beach? It's an allegation that the resort says is an outright lie. Tonight, President of RCI, Philip Simon, is here to speak on that and also the hiring practice of Royal Caribbean. And the Grand Bahama Development Company is here as well to talk about all the great things happening in Grand Bahama as the economy takes a turn for the better. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. A 32-year-old bus driver is free on bail tonight after he was accused of molesting a 15-year-old girl here in the capital. Marcusson Petit Home appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Voigt Evans on a charge of unlawful sexual intercourse. Prosecutors allege that in 2023, Petit Home had unlawful sexual intercourse with a teenager. Petit Home was not required to enter a plea, as the matter will be transferred to the Supreme Court by way of voluntary bail of indictment. Now, Petit Home's bail was set in the amount of $9,000 with 1 to 2 sureties as part of his bail conditions. Well, Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville is renewing his calls tonight for Bahamians in general, and in particular young people, to be smart once they are sexually active. His admonishment comes as health officials released what many have described as alarming health statistics of chlamydia being on the rise. Dr. Darville says those statistics also suggest that another grave illness could be on the rise as well, making it even more critical for residents to heed officials' advice.
Anytime you see things like chlamydia go up, you can rest assured that HIV is right behind it. And so it's like bread and butter. And so it's important for us, particularly in the young population, because something we found very interesting between the ages of 15 and 19 and 21 to 24 is the highest incidence of chlamydia. So it goes to show that the community is dropping its guard and becoming to be involved in risky sexual practices. And we encourage the community to understand that the reality of STDs is real. And for those who may have chlamydia, this is curable with treatment. But when you start moving into some of the other sexually transmitted diseases, you will find yourself in a position where you are confronted with a chronic illness that require lifelong treatment. We encourage the population once again to, first of all, that if you're sexually active, stay away from risky sexual behavior. We all know what the rules are. It's important for you, if you're going to engage, you have to engage with safe sexual practices, and I'm speaking to the younger population where the data has definitely indicated that that is the group that is more susceptible for sexually transmitted diseases. We have triggered a cascade of events that extend all the way from all of our public clinics, where awareness is on high alert. Treatment is accessible free of charge at our clinics. And we are doing a lot in the educational space to alert the population about what we have found and the importance for safe sex and the use of condoms.
Well, listen, abstinence right there. One of my guests this evening in studio says abstinence, but the minister says risky sexual behavior. What does that encompass, I wonder? What's risky nowadays? I mean, almost anything, right? We are going to get into that this evening because I'll tell you, the story leading into the minister's comments described something that was, I thought, a thing of the past. Whereas teenagers, Peggy, you're laughing, but teenage girls sleeping around with or having unlawful sexual relations with bus drivers, for example, it is quite dangerous and risky, especially now. And as I bring the Hot Topics panelists in, this is something that's worrisome. We remember some time ago when HIV and AIDS was extremely high in the Bahamas, and that was a part of it. That was among the contributing factors of why it was reading and registering so high. Now again, because everybody has gotten comfortable and distracted with other things, they are now just sleeping around naked. And obviously not paying attention to the dangers and the risks out there. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Peggy's Candace and Ellington Ferguson. Good evening to both of you, and welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Bahamas. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. Peggy, I want to start with you, the female here. How concerning is it for you to see what's happening? We heard just a couple of weeks ago the new statistics and the numbers. It was something that went very quiet for a while because the Bahamas was winning this. And then, of course, other things came up and it was just distracting and rightly so, getting the attention of officials. But now here it is, front and center once again.
Good evening once again, Shanique. I think what has encouraged the relaxed state of people's consciousness, not only in the Bahamas, but worldwide, is that sexual activities, sexuality has become a part of entertainment. The music, the dance, the dress code, it is celebrating, bumping and grinding. And it makes having sex, casual sex, entertaining in the movies, sitcoms, everywhere. And so I think that is the problem. But one of my greatest concern is the age of consent. They say unlawful sexual intercourse. And I looked and see it, and I was trying to find out if the word consensual sex with a minor is still a thing. Age of consent is 16.
16, right?
Can we... I'm an advocate for that being increased to 18. If you can give consent, if you can vote, if you can sign yourself out of the hospital, if you're still considered a minor when it comes to legal matters and medical matters. If a teenager has a child and she's not 18, she needs an adult to be with her in the hospital, and when a baby go for visit, that teenage female will need an adult. So if at the under 18, you need an adult to attend clinic during your pregnancy and for the first year of your child's life, when you have to go to all of those clinics. How is it that we're still comfortable saying the age of consent is 16? And if we increase the age of consent and then we had that with a no tolerance, don't give us no explanation. If you have sexual intercourse, unlawful, lawful, consensual, with a child under 18, once we increase that age, no explanation. Once this approach is taken, I believe men will be more conscious to say, oh, you enough the age, boy, it may be good, but I ain't going to jail for it. We need to put that in place in this country. We need to have a no tolerance. You talk about the increase in sexual transmitted disease, then we must address this. There are some issues that need to be addressed to try to mitigate the risk, because we don't want to once again go to the state where we were in the 90s when it came to HIV. In the 90s is when it was popular for young girls to have relationship with bus drivers because they were a source of money. There are preventative methods. Also holding parents accountable for their young girls. There got to be some some
Becky, how can
mechanism.
parents know when these girls come out of school and jump in the front seat of these buses and then go and give them a little piece before they actually get dropped home? I mean, what are parents to know unless their daughter shows up pregnant or feeling ill and go and get tested and finds out she's positive with something?
If you see a young daughter dressed a certain way, have access to name brand items, and you're not paying for them, where's she getting from? We must hold them accountable. We, as parents, must be accountable. How you could have that? I never buy that for you. Your father didn't buy that for you. And stop trying to be your daughter's friends. So there's so much needs to be addressed, and I'm not even talking about the government or the church. Home. Many of the problems we are facing now, sexual transmitted disease, teenage pregnancy, many of the problems, bullying, can be dealt with from the home.
Right from home, because Ellington, Peggy, and I was happy to start with her because she's a female, a mother, and so therefore she has great insight from a woman's standpoint. And she mentioned the fact that, listen, sex is like drinking water nowadays. I mean, it's overly sexualized on social media, on music videos, and the way kids dress. You see even women dressing their minors,
babies,
toddlers, in just an overly sexual manner. And there it is. So these girls, who oftentimes are the breadwinners for the family, and so therefore them sleeping around and getting what they need to get, it's almost approved. How can we go and deal with this? Because again, these diseases and infections, sexually transmitted ones, have they don't discriminate. They don't say, okay, you and not you. Well, you sleep with him because your family need money. No. And then also sometimes the example set in the home is a poor one. They see their mother up and down swinging from the roof and the chandeliers with one man today and the next one tomorrow.
Absolutely, Shanique, and Peggy addressed it very well. I think and the Bahamas has done a tremendous job in dealing with HIV over the years, stemming all the way back to the 80s, as a matter of fact. I remember, you saw people walking around who were destroyed by the disease, people who worked in high office. I mean, it didn't discriminate on who it touched, from high to the low. And so the Bahamas have done a wonderful job in bringing it under control. I think over the years we've kind of relaxed, as that was not an issue in the country, and the education of it was not out there like I think we should have kept it, because as you quite rightfully alluded to, that everything is based on some sexual. I mean, to talk about some food or some drink, you got to see a woman, and it promotes that this is sexual, everything. And so, yes, it's in your face, and people are involved in it. It's a challenge out there, and we've got to talk to our young women. Parents, we've got to talk to our young women. Women's group, we've got to talk to our young women. As we seek to protect women and children and girls, we must make our women to, first of all, be accountable for their actions, okay? Against any man, any adult man, going around and playing around with these adult children, absolutely, it's off. It's off. There's no discussion for it. However, there are some cases where you got to walk carefully, and we've got to try to get our young ladies walking the streets and waiting on these particular buses and all of that type of stuff. I think that should be discouraged at every level. People in the community, officers moving about the streets, and I see some officers doing it when they see a bunch of children standing on a bus stop. A bus will pass them that's going on their route, but they're waiting for that particular one with the juicy music and the popular guy and whoever. And we got to discourage these things on an everyday basis. The education must be continuing in our schools and in our communities, on all of our radio and TV stations.
I absolutely agree with you. I agree. And then, listen, you're not out of style and backward because you're not having sex. Eh? How about that? And tell a lot of these men, listen, take that and take it elsewhere. Justin, I really want to go to this next story. I absolutely do. Nearly 50 hotel workers at Eleuthera Resort are raising concerns about poor working conditions and ongoing issues. Let's take a look. The union is speaking out tonight. We're going to take a quick look and then come back.
An investigation by the Department of Labor is now pending into a luxury resort on the island of Eleuthera following a series of complaints from employees. Labor officials confirmed to Eyewitness News that the concerns range from employee infraction to health and safety violations. Based on the nature of some of the complaints, officials say the Department of Immigration may also have to become involved. General Secretary of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Marsha Bullard, says nearly 45 members employed at the Governor's Harbor's hotel property are frustrated in what they have described as poor working conditions.
It's horrible. In this 2025, Bahamians are working in this deplorable condition. They are working, both men and women. They're using the same restroom, both men and women. They have two options of where they can eat, either between the transformer and the one bathroom, or between the transformer and the garbage loaded with flies.
Eyewitness News has received photos and videos of the alleged space showing the lunch area provided for staff at the property. Bullard further claims that there are ongoing issues with national insurance payments, including disputes over payouts dating back to the COVID-19 pandemic. But the most serious allegation, she says, is the property is violating multiple labor laws, particularly as it relates to overtime payment.
They also have one person working as a steward from 8 a.m. in the morning to 11 at night. No overtime, no dishwashing machine. This person especially, have to work manually. The lady hand is burnt, scalded because of the detergent or whatever it is they're using, where she has to have a hand in this water all day, washing and rinsing dishes.
Eyewitness News reached out to the property for comment, and we were directed to submit questions via email. However, no response was received up to news time. The union secretary general says members are making sacrifices to provide for their families, but they have had enough.
The morale is on the floor. The morale is they're just tired. But I mean, I would like to say to you that some persons are making money, but they are not happy with the conditions what they're working in. They are not happy.
This is a developing story, and we will continue to follow. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Listen, that right there is quite disturbing. We spoke about the working conditions where Bahamians are treated a little above animals. I mean, that's a pigsty. Peggy and Ellington, your thoughts very quickly about what we saw in that video.
I wish they'd name the hotel, name shame, to be held accountable, but it's sadly that Bahamians have learned to suffer in silence.
Shanique, we've got to look at these hotels and how they're treating our Bahamian people. They come here, they're making millions of dollars, and not only that property, there are properties in here in Nassau where Bahamians are being ill-treated, and they're bringing in foreigners working over Bahamians to do work that Bahamians can do. We must pay attention, keep a close eye on what these properties are doing to our people.
I mean, that's disgusting. Department of Labor, what are you doing about that? Because I'm sure this is not the first time they're speaking up. There it is, the flies in the garbage right there, and they must sit and eat. It's like picking peas out of.
We got to spend some time to deal with this issue. This is a real issue.
We must revisit this matter because it's quite disturbing. It's no way people should be able to work in something like that and then working from 8 until 11. Like, I mean, what is happening here where Bahamians are desperate for a job with these incredibly high-end properties and working like slaves? But we're gonna pick up this discussion in a minute because, you know, Royal Caribbean, some charges has been levied their way in terms of their employment tactics and habits. Is it true? What is true? We're going to speak with the president of Royal Caribbean Bahamas right after this.
America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, buddy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do?
What does do?
Wait, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
It's springtime, and Grand Bahama Tiles is having its biggest spring clearance sale ever. With 20 to 60% off store-wide, there's savings for everybody on everything. They have large stock items on wood look, porcelains, and natural stones. And all clearance stock must go. So, what are you waiting for? Hurry in and catch the spring clearance sale now. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
International events and production, Alive, Bahamas Air, Everybody Wins Live, and Field of Vibes Bahamas Weekend presents
the Evolution Concert on Saturday, March 29th at Clifford Park, featuring Vibes Cartel and Friends.
Bahamas, Nassau, where is this Saturday the 29th of March?
It's one of the biggest events to hit the shores of Nassau, Bahamas.
Get ready for Adi the Teacher, the Dancehall King, a.k.a. the World Boss, Vibes Cartel.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shot.
Log into our official airline Bahamas Air for travel specials. It gets better. We're also giving away a brand new Cybertruck.
And up to $50,000 in cash and prizes at the concert. Compliments of Everybody Wins Live.
Log into our website, feelthevibesweekend.com.
For tickets, tables, skyboxes, and more info.
Visit Ticket Flair or email intlevents242@gmail.com.
WhatsApp or call 1242-808-2369.
I remember Cartel go did it.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, over a week ago, a Hot Topics panel discussion on this show took a pointed look at the hiring practices of resort developers here in the Bahamas. The panelists said at the time that investors chose to import managers while having Bahamians slaving away performing menial tasks. Of note was the comment that Coco Key employed women to replenish sand on the beach daily. So is Coco Key doing that? Is it happening at the start of the day? Is it in the midday sun? What exactly is the story? What's the truth? We're going to get to the bottom of it, hopefully this evening. Joining me this evening is President of Royal Caribbean Bahamas, Philip Simon. Good evening to you, Philip. It's good to have you here. I'm happy that you even came to respond to this. It was something really that got a lot of people's attention. And then you know, I'll tell you this though. Of course, we're going to give Royal Caribbean an opportunity to speak, but you saw that story just before the break.
I did.
And the working conditions and the issues that the number of hours and the slave conditions and just the squalid conditions that workers on a resort property in Eleuthera work under. And I just wish that they had identified that property. Like as Peggy said, name them and shame them. But let's just deal with the matter here. What is the situation at Coco Key? Because it's also alleged that while Bahamians are performing the slave duties and working in the hot sun and doing all that stuff, that primarily the resort has over 800 employees and only about 200 of them are Bahamians, and this is sort of their job description.
Well, firstly, I'm happy to be back on the show. I did watch it last week and heard the remarks that were being made, and at some point it kind of just shook my head and was like, okay, let's let me reach out and take the opportunity to just provide a little more insight, a little more truth to the matter. Sometimes in stories, whether through experiences or through disappointments or separations, there are certain comments that are made, and they can be taken out of context, and of course they can be embellished.
Yeah.
And but with regards to your first comment relative to having women workers as sand toters, no, that's can I say that in the course of doing a particular job, it might have required the movement of something.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible, but that's not a job description.
People aren't hired to be toters of sand.
No, absolutely not. And I think if persons took the time to even speak to the majority of the staff that we have on Cocoa Key, the experiences are excellent. In most of those cases, in many of those cases, you talk about the numbers. What was that, 800?
Yeah, roughly,
and,
it's a complement of about 800 staff, and about only 200 of them are Bahamians. The rest don't even speak English. When the tourists come, they don't know what's going on if they're in the Bahamas or somewhere in South America. Is that true?
No, not at all. We have over 600 Bahamian employees on Cocoa Key.
At Cocoa Key?
Over 600 Bahamian employees on Cocoa Key in many different positions, managerial positions, the operations directors, the head of our human resources, our island experience managers. You would have seen just in the papers this week, one of our deputy general managers, island experience manager, was promoted to the general manager position of the Royal Beach Club at Paradise Island. And so we're very proud of that. Troy Smith, I think Leslie might have mentioned his name last week. Troy has been with the company for over 20 years. He is Bahamian. Want to clarify that.
He's not some foreigner, but Smith last name.
He's worked his way up through the ranks, and we're very proud to have named him the general manager
so that's
of the Beach
good.
Club.
Well, let's address that. You said, largely they're Bahamians on Cocoa Key and in the Royal Caribbean family and ecosystem. Do they enjoy, many of them, or most of them, or a lot of them, senior positions?
Yes, and so with over 600, the general manager, is on a permit. But let me make it clear. So every position, because that was kind of incorrectly stated last week, we have to go through a process with the Department of Labor, obviously. And so what you would find is that in filling the positions, especially on an island life and working in that type of environment, it can be difficult to source 100%, and it's impossible, 100% Bahamian employees. People leave for different reasons. They want to come home, but we go through the Department of Labor. We abide by every rule and every law and every policy. This company has obviously been under scrutiny. It's an excellent company, and this is why I'm here, to really bring some truth to the matters and the allegations that have come out there. And in fact, our partnership in 2024, we had a total of 25 hiring events in 2024. 8 of those were with the Department of Labor in Nassau. We hired 317 Bahamians to Cocoa Key in 2024.
In 2024.
And so we're constantly looking for talent. We have a recruitment office that has been established dedicated to sourcing Bahamian talent. In fact, anybody that's interested, we say this all the time, just come and seek us out. We take applications all the time. Sometimes people are hired on the spot. And so there's great opportunity with Royal Caribbean in every single, it's tourism, but within tourism there's an opportunity for every different skill set.
Well, let's talk about this new project that's happening, because this is a prime project, the one over Paradise Island and the key there. What will the hiring practices be? What is the company's mandate in terms of ensuring that Bahamians are offered an opportunity, and a good one at that?
I say it all the time, this is the most unique partnership model certainly that I've been a part of, and I believe it is an excellent one that we can look to duplicate in the future. We have committed, and again, if people go to our website, they see it very clearly stated. We've committed to the management of the Royal Beach Club at Paradise Island to be 100% Bahamian. Obviously, you've got myself as president. You've got Troy, who's just come on as general manager. Over the next couple of weeks, his executive team will be announced, and I think, again, people will be extremely proud to see the level and skill set of the Bahamian executive team that will be joining him. And that process will go through different waves of hiring over the next several months as we get closer to December of this year when we want to open up. And so the management team's 100% Bahamian. We have the service operations. We have committed to Bahamian businesses, which is unique in itself. It will be a wonderful opportunity for us to navigate this entire process. But whether that's laundry, food and beverage, security, the list goes on and on. There are dozens of opportunities for businesses, on our website to secure RFPs. In addition to that, 1% of the gross, and again, I'm speaking to this model, 1% of the gross revenue from the project goes into a fund to help improve downtown Nassau, to other attractions, etc. And then, of course, the big thing, at least in my mind, is that 49-51% split in equity, meaning that up to 49% of the development is going to be held and reserved for Bahamians.
Oh, awesome. Now, about that wonderful Paradise Island opportunity, the Royal Caribbean property there, what is the beach club? What is the opportunities that are available that Bahamians can, if they don't already know, and those who perhaps have an interest but not sure how to go about getting in, is that still an opportunity? Still open?
Still ongoing. In fact, we had extended the RFP process for all of those different, operations of the beach club. We have currently the Artist Discovery Program, which is a big one. Again, I've said it before.
What is that called?
The Artist Discovery Program. So what we want this beach club to represent as much as possible the culture, the touch, the taste, the feel of the Bahamas. And when visitors and guests come there, including Bahamians, and I want to make it very clear because this keeps on coming up, this is open to Bahamians as well.
So Bahamians could take a nice little ferry to Royal Caribbean Beach Club, which is just off Paradise Island there. They can take a ferry and be welcomed to have a day experience as well.
It's an excursion. And so it is, our guests will be Royal Caribbean passengers and Bahamians. And so yes, it's a day excursion between the hours of essentially 8 and 4 or 5. We are going to really, it's 3 different areas that we'll focus on. There's a party zone, there's a chill zone, and there's a party zone, a chill zone, and a family zone. And so those different areas we're going to make unique with the experiences of the Bahamas. We have this ultimate family cabana. We'll have the world's largest swim-up bar. We are going to reflect the culture. The Artist Discovery Program in particular is open right now if you go to the website. There's opportunities for murals, for paintings, for musicians, for bands. And so, it's really, to me, an excellent opportunity. It's a unique model again, and I think it's going to be a wonderful partnership.
So Royal Caribbean is not, like the story before the break, at all treating its employees the way we saw that, the setting and the environment that those workers in Eleuthera are subjected to.
We have tremendous standards within the company. And there are 0 tolerance levels for a lot of things. And whether that's assault or inappropriate behavior, we treat our employees with respect. Not every company is perfect, and I'm not going to sit up here and say so because that's incorrect. But we are committed, and we strive for excellence. Yeah. And so, I can challenge anybody, to really come. In fact, the government works along with us. We have at any given point in time all of the different departments and ministries, including obviously the Department of Labor, that we work along with in every instance. So. I'm just happy to be here to kind of speak truth. I'm not going to follow everybody that comes with a particular, accusation, etc. Because there are a lot of those that are floating around from a lot of different places, as we all know. But I'm glad to be on your show.
I'm happy that you did, because at least you stepped up. I mean, when do you have the president of any major resort here in the nation coming to address issues that concern Bahamians, and they're legitimate concerns. And whether it's embellished, as perhaps was done on this show last week with the information that came forth, it's good that you came to discuss that, because as we saw, and we know for a fact, and other major properties right here in the capital, forget the nation, in the capital are practicing, whether it's hiring practices, whether it's working conditions, uncomfortable working conditions, Bahamians not having a fair opportunity for progress. We know that a lot is going on in many of these properties, and they are mum. They feel they don't owe the Bahamian people an explanation. So for you to come here as the president of Royal Caribbean Beach Club, Paradise Island, says a great deal about obviously the company and the fact that the company intends on being as transparent as possible and being one of those upstanding employers. And so that's, and Bahamian corporate presence as well.
I mean, I'm Bahamian. You know, I'm Bahamian, and you know, I've spent my entire life, you know, working towards improving this country, and I see this as another avenue and certainly another opportunity for all of us. Building an excellent, wonderful team, and I think you know, when those names are announced, we're going to just be so proud. So stay tuned. Persons can go to the www.Royal Beach Club at Paradise Island.
Look right here and repeat that again.
Royal Beach Club at ParadiseIsland.com. The opportunities are there for local partnerships. The opportunities are there for career opportunities. And then, of course, we're certainly always available.
Thank you very much, Philip Simon. You do have an open door policy, and we are grateful here on Beyond the Headlines for that. Thank you once again for coming and sort of just speaking to that and just putting people's fears at ease in terms of what's happening on the various properties of Royal Caribbeans. Meanwhile, listen, Hotel in Eleuthera, we didn't call your name, but you know who you are. Come and speak to this. Come and address what we saw on those videos, on that video and that news story, because it's quite troubling. I mean, these Bahamians are not animals, you know? They are not animals to be treated that way. Really, they're not. I hear you, Justin. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back right after this.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're gonna take, it's gonna be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. The business, I know, it's gonna be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself, it's put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Starling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands. like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry commercial vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you'll need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's so good to have you join us. I hope that you are really enjoying tonight's show. You want to pay attention to this segment. Get a notepad and a pen because this is where you come in. In fact, I like to empower from time to time, but this is the ultimate empowerment opportunity for you. We know that the island of Grand Bahama it's turning. It's a slow turn, but it's turning, and it's turning in the right direction. The economy is poised to do amazing things. If you all remember, about a year ago, right around now, the DevCo, Grand Bahama Development Company, launched right here in New Providence an amazing, first of all, they enrolled, I think, in excess of $2 billion worth of project and opportunities and all that stuff. A part of that was getting you involved, giving you an opportunity to get in on investments, to get in and lock in your piece of the pie, lock in your property for whether it's a home, a business development, income producing opportunity, all of that. And so that still stands. We'll get to that in a minute because it's even further expanded and we're going to break it down for more for you. But let us talk about, first of all, they're back this week to mark that 1-year anniversary to talk about what's going on. It was super exciting last year at the official launch to hear what it is that the Grand Bahama Development Company has planned and in the pipeline. It was a major rollout, and I think that they plan to reinforce that message this week and also kind of just remind you and also present some wonderful other opportunities for many Bahamians outside of Grand Bahama. I'm also understanding the economy is already turning around. People are returning home to Grand Bahama. Isn't that amazing? We're going to get right into it this evening with Chuck Pratt, who is the Senior Manager of Sales and Marketing for DevCo.
DevCo and Port Authority.
DevCo and the Port Authority. It's good to have you here, Chuck. Great to see you. I mean, that was, first of all, it was an exciting, very successful launch and rollout last year. You're here to kind of do part 2 to that.
Yes, I am. Again, thank you for having us, Shanique. It's always a pleasure and exciting to be on your show, and good evening to your viewing audience. Yes, a year ago we being the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Development Company, to launch its satellite office. Why the office? Because we wanted to be able to sit across a desk and shake hands with prospective investors, people interested in buying everything from commercial to residential properties in Grand Bahama, and to also just do business generally. And so we thought it important to invest in having a physical location here in Nassau in the let me make sure I get the address right. One West Plaza.
Yes.
Is it co-access suite or access co-work suite? Well, that's where we're looking.
It's something, and it's still there, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful space, and just friendly for anybody to come in. And because Alice and I was there, remember that?
Yes. So we've been using it over the past year, everyone from the executive team right down to the officers, making sure that we are here as the need arises. We're here so we can meet the people interested in Grand Bahama. We're back to have another event tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. at the same location.
Yes.
Invitations have gone out. Obviously, we can't invite everybody, but there will be a live stream of the event.
Super.
That I believe that information is already available and will be posted on all of DEFCO's social media platforms, Facebook rather, in this instance. And my team will continue to push out the information about the event tomorrow evening.
So that's the DEVCO's Facebook page.
DEVCO's Facebook page.
So by the way, y'all, that's DEVCO DEVCO. Yes, correct. On Facebook. So that if you can't make it or you didn't get that invitation, you can certainly stream live and see what's. I'm telling you, it's amazing. And what's awesome is you get more bang for your buck when you purchase real estate in Grand Bahama.
Right. So the event we have captioned Rediscover Land Investment Opportunities in Freeport 2.0. Right, 1.0 was last year.
Yes, of course.
This is 2.0.
2.0.
And
better.
why 2.0 is because last year we were in the planning stages. Carnival was that far away from being open.
Yes.
It's now 3.5 months from opening on July 19th. Carnival is opening date for Celebration Key, where they will be bringing in 2 ships per week. They project in the first year and a half, 2 years, 2 million passengers coming to Freeport.
That's amazing. I mean, Chuck, talk about how that's already having an impact in Grand Bahama, because I speak with residents who are regular watchers, if not nightly, of this show, and we speak very frequently, and they say, Shanique, you wouldn't understand what's happening now. Grand Bahama is already beginning to turn. People are also returning home and gaining employment.
Right. Let me start with the last part.
Go ahead.
You said gaining employment. Every week we're seeing on social media, wherever you go, we're looking for, what you call them, the people who save you from the water when you're drowning.
Lifeguards.
Lifeguards.
Yes.
We're looking for managers. We're looking, the full spectrum of job descriptions they're advertising. Not only them, Grand Bahama Shipyard, advertising all types of positions.
This is the spin-off opportunities now that's happening as a result of that one.
And I think to put it in context, we need to talk about what's happening with this $3 billion we're coming into. So
it's $3 billion. I said 2.
Yeah, it's grown. It's grown.
Yes.
So you have Carnival, $600 million. That's in Lucaya. You have the Weller Six Senses branded development happening in Lucaya as well.
Yes.
Initially in their first phase, it's probably looking at $200 million. You have, obviously, we spoke about the Grand Bahama Shipyard, which is bringing in its dry dock. That's another $500 million. We have the redevelopment of the harbor project with major players. That's another $300 to $500 million. So we're talking about $300 billion. Those are the big ones. Then you have the smaller multi-million dollar investments happening throughout Grand Bahama. Why? Because there's renewed investor confidence in Grand Bahama.
Well, that's good to hear.
We thank our Father for keeping away the storms and allowing these projects to now progress and come out of the ground. So Carnival is scheduled to open July 19th. That has generated interest. And DEFCO, upon the confirmation and certainty of Carnival moving ahead, has commissioned a marketing analysis report by Ernst & Young and a spatial planning report by EDSA, the spatial planners out of Florida, on several of its key sites in the Lucaya area to determine the best and optimum use. And that is the core message I will be presenting tomorrow. What were the results of those reports? You'll be excited to hear. We ask everyone to tune in because this is an opportunity for Bahamians to invest. Now, you remember, when I was here last year, I always spoke about now is the time to buy. Any investor know the best time to buy was 5 years ago. But let's not look 5 years from now and say should have buy back in 2025. Now is the best time to buy. So the report speaks about these properties, commercial, residential, and what we should be doing with them and what we should be telling the prospective Bahamian investor. Who did I say?
Bahamian investor.
Bahamian investor, what they should be doing, not only what they should be doing, when they should be doing it. So we have short-term, medium-term, long-term.
This is super, and
these
I love
properties are available through the Grand Bahama Development
And
Company.
you have so tailored it, and we can go into some detail, but you have so tailored this rollout again, 2.0, to fit people wherever they are, whatever their interests are. But Freeport, we call it Freeport Grand Bahama Freeport, but Freeport, the whole thing, the whole island, is obviously poised for this revival. Why have you all been so quiet though? Because we have not been hearing officially about what's taking place and what's taking shape. Only, like I said, through conversation just with various residents who watch the show, and they would say, Shanique, guess what's happening? People are coming back home.
So thank you for that. And I apologize on behalf of DEFCO. But this year, we've committed to being in Nassau. We've committed to being in Nassau at least once a quarter. So you would see my, I think, a good-looking face every quarter here in Nassau, pushing out several types of initiatives. I plan to be back before June, and then 3 months later, et cetera, et cetera. We have been trying through social media to push these things out. And I'm old school, and I really like to hear it, your mouth to my ear, that sort of a thing. And so we understand there are different ways of penetrating the market or getting the information out. You have to do with different media. So I've been here from Sunday, and most of you know I've been doing the photo rounds because I want to hit everybody just in case we don't miss any demographic. We want everyone to be able to understand what is happening in Grand Bahama. But we're committed to ensuring that the information is on real time coming to Nassau. And that is on both the DEFCO and the Port Authority side in terms of overall investment.
Really, really super. Obviously, the Port Authority has been working, and of course, to their company, DEVCO, which is the development company as arm of the Port Authority, also working and putting in the work instead of doing a lot of talking initially since last year. And now it's time to talk. Now, you are still focused this year, as you were last year, about people getting in now to Grand Bahama in these various opportunities. We have, of course, something that is just so comprehensive in terms of how people can get out and the kind of opportunities that are available in terms of property development themselves, that they can take advantage. Is there a market now for persons getting in, which will take them a minute anyways, but for like, Airbnb is a huge thing worldwide. It's taken off in Nassau, but certainly like Eleuthera and other areas, I mean, huge. Is Grand Bahama poised for that market?
Shanique, you must be in an board meeting today.
Yes, praise you said.
Because a part of the push also and what DEFCO is promoting, the other benefits from owning in Lucaya, which is you can rent your properties for Airbnb. Now, we didn't mention that last year because we were working on some legal ramifications with that. But now it is fully endorsed by both companies, the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Development Company. And we're saying to individuals, even if you buy a single family lot, which allows you to build a single family home, you can lease that out, rent that out, or Airbnb it as well, right? And of course, duplex speaks for itself, multifamily unit speaks for itself, but that opportunity exists. We recognize, based on the level of investments occurring in Grand Bahama now, there will be a housing shortage. So part of the, and I don't want to again say all this right now, but part of the results of the report we received spoke about housing. How do you ensure that housing is developed in the areas where these major, or close to these areas where the major developments are happening? So we're going to be speaking about that as well. Opportunities for contractors, for commercial investors. It speaks about the types of development that should occur on these properties, given what's happening in Grand Bahama right now.
So that's strict, and it's good to know that the Port Authority and DEVCO has given the stamp of approval, and we've only heard from a distance the sort of strict oversight, I guess, of the Port Authority in ensuring that like the green light has been given, as long as you stay within the guidelines, go and do whatever it is you need to do and desire to do, and also to know that that can be an income-producing opportunity as well.
Well, sure. I mean, and most people invest to, we call it build generational wealth. Yeah?
Yes.
And part of that is ensuring that your children and your children's children have a better life than you as the matriarch or patriarch had in your experience. So we understand the need to ensure that land remains affordable for the Bahamian persons, Bahamian people. We have a few initiatives that we're launching as well for DEFCO. If you're interested in residential properties,
give us an idea. I mean, talk it up.
We have 4. We have one known as GIFT, the Generational Investment Friends and Family Trust, and what that is And the best way to describe it, the most simplified way is like you getting married bridal registry, and people will go to a location that the bride say, okay, you can go here and you can buy, this is what I chose for my wedding present.
Yes.
So what we're saying is that if Shanique has a loved one, a friend, a family member who is interested in property, Shanique can make a deposit with the Grand Bahama Development Company on property in the name of your family, friend, or loved one, right? You have 6 months to do that, and once that reaches 10%, that then moves to contract, and then now your friend, family, or loved one enters into the contract to pay the balance of the purchase price for the property. How does that help you? Well, if I don't have the money, right, but someone wants to help me start with property investment, they can come in with a deposit as low as $100. Say, I'm putting this down for Shanique, is my family friend. I'm putting this down for Shanique. She's interested in this property. And so other people can come and do the same thing. And over a 6-month period or before, whenever the 10% is realized, that moves to contract. That is known as generational investment for family, friend, and trust.
That is amazing.
That's known as gift. So you're gifting.
You are really working to get anybody in,
yes,
however they can get in, as best as they can get in.
Best just to get in. So that's one. The other one is land on layaway. So the 52nd...
That don't happen in Nassau, so that sounds good. Let's hear this.
The 52nd anniversary of the Bahamas independence occurs on July 10th. DEFCO decided 52 days from July 10th will take you to May 19th. And we're saying from May 19th to July 9th, if you're interested in becoming a property owner in Grand Bahama, and you start and you bring in a deposit or get a go into contract during that time, on July 18, a part of that push will allow your name to be put into a pot where it's drawn on July 18, and whose name is drawn will receive a 5% favorable adjustment in the purchase price of the land. Now, 5%, you say that's a little bit, but $20,000 for a property, 5% of that is what? $1,000, essentially. If it's $40,000, 5% of that is what? $2,000? So that comes off the property purchase price because of the drawing.
Now, but wait a minute, you named some prices there a minute ago. Are those the prices of land in Grand Bahama?
The average, depending on what you get and where you get it.
Where you get it, of course.
Depends on zoning, you're probably looking starting at $25,000 and up.
You all heard that? You all heard
and that's for land. We don't call it lot, we call it land, These are properties that are 100 by
It's land, not here like we'll be talking about.
A quarter or a third of an acre, that's what we're talking about.
You all heard the price, and I'm happy that he said that because you all heard what property cost in Grand Bahama. You all know that don't happen nowhere in this area. What you said again, like you're starting roughly average $25,000 for land, not the little things that we call here.
Not the lot where it was 60 by 60 or what you call it, 10 by 10 or something, whatever they have in Nassau. Yeah, we have land. We have land. So it's 1/4 to 1/3 of an acre, single family. Depending on the zone, it could go up to almost half an acre for multifamily properties, what have you. Interior. We have properties. Actually, we're getting ready to launch a gated community in Grand Bahama as well that backs onto a golf course. That will require some refurbishment, but nevertheless, it was a golf course and it will become one again based on the arrangement we have in place. So all of these are opportunities for Bahamians on the residential front. All right, single family,
and you're bringing
duplex, multifamily, multifamily, high rise.
I like what you're doing because again, you're saying, listen, guys, this is for y'all first or us first. Yeah. This is for us first. We've seen homes in Grand Bahama. We've heard the people in Grand Bahama say, listen, man, y'all, yeah, well, that's what y'all have, but look what we have. Look at the size of our homes and then sitting on the size property. Mm-hmm. And here it is that Chuck Pratt is here from Grand Bahama Development Company. Again, as Grand Bahama is really making that shift now. It's been in the doldrums for decades, and now things are really happening. And they're saying, get in on the ground level. Get in now because it really will serve your best interest.
And you're quite right. If not us, then who, right? If not now, then when? Yeah. So let's take advantage of the opportunity now to invest in properties. And I keep pushing this message, right? Now is the time. Properties will not go down in price in Grand Bahama. I can tell you.
No,
that.
It's only going to go up for right? We see what's happening in New Providence. Mm-hmm. New Providence hasn't seen those prices in many eons. So now you want to jump in now because with all the development, the multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar development that's on top for Grand Bahama and happening now as you all hear and beginning, it would not remain that what
No,
it is.
it isn't. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, since I was here last year, we did increase the price. Like I said, we had to increase the price because the interest has increased.
Yes.
In property.
Yeah.
Right.
How can people get in touch with you? Of course, again tomorrow evening. That event is part 2 of what took place last year. 1 year later, they are back to roll out even more. You heard last year was $2 billion worth of investments and opportunities happening in Grand Bahama. This year, just 1 year later, it's now $3 billion plus. And so obviously Grand Bahama is growing and the potential of what's happening there is growing.
Right. So you can reach us at our contact 350-9096 or our website www.gbdevco.com. Our subsidiary company, the maintenance company that takes care of the roads, the verges to ensure value appreciation for your investment is known as the Lucaine Service Company. You can visit them on www.lusco.org. Again, 350-9096. My sales team are standing by waiting for your call to provide all the information you need to become a property owner. Invest in your economy. Come and grow with us.
Come and grow with us. I like that. And again, that live stream event and the live event tomorrow evening happens at when? Starting when?
6 p.m. 6 p.m. Again, I keep getting this name, the Co-Access Suite.
Yes, well, if you don't have an invitation, you won't know. But I'll tell you, you have an invitation to right here, front and center, DevCo on Facebook, DEVCO on Facebook. And listen, get the information you need. Ewing or Fine, nothing like this in New Providence. Get in there. And Grand Bahama is still so clean and pristine. Yes. I was there recently and I was stunned. I'm like, man, this place doesn't look like the way I've been hearing. It still looks nice.
I surprised you were there. You didn't come say, truck, let's go.
I was actually working from the moment I landed until, I was working, I realized listen.
Great job for your mentoring that you do.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Chuck Pratt from the Grand Bahama Development Company and the Grand Bahama Port Authority, thank you very, very much. And thanks for sharing this information with us. And you know, we everybody trying to get a hand up in life, this is it right there in Grand Bahama. Thank you very much. And also thanks, of course, to the Top of Tonight show, our Hot Topics panelists, Ellington Ferguson and Peggy Scott, and also in the middle of the show, President of Royal Caribbean Bahamas, Philip Simon. Very, very big thanks to him as well. And of course to you, Chuck. And of course to all of you, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We certainly enjoyed having you along and look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.